Okay, hi. So my name is Ari, and I'm going to be talking to you today about our efforts teaching causality to neuroscientists. um, okay, so this yeah. So when you think about what standard methods neuroscientists have available to them, you can think about things that they might learn in their first semester. Some standard statistical techniques, standard experimental methods, and perhaps causality, or at least we think so. The standard neuroscience curriculum does not develop the concept of causality nor methods to estimate it, but it doesn't need to be that way. So this past summer, as part of a large summer school teaching computational methods to experimental neuroscientists, we developed a curriculum to teach the concept of causality as one of 15 days of content. Neuromatch Academy was a huge effort with a huge number of organizers and content creators. It ended up being rolled out across the globe in every time zone, and was attended by individuals of multiple career stages, so both from undergraduate all the way up to faculty. On our day, which was in the middle of the third week, our goals were to bring the following across. First, how can we understand the concept of causality in a rigorous manner? What methods exist to estimate a causal effect? And we had a number of simple ones in mind to investigate randomized control trials, to ensure that does estimate a causal effect, to see in what situations correlations in a system we might care about can estimate that, as well as some other methods, including some that we hoped most of the attendees wouldn't have heard of before, although it's standard in the field of causal estimation, which is instrumental variables. And there are many others, but we focused on these. Like all of Neuromatch Academy, the day was structured like this. The content would be followed by a group of about 10 people live on Zoom, and they would have a TA. In the beginning, they would all watch a pre-recorded intro video, which was recorded by an expert in the field. Then there would be an interactive tutorial that would be done live, which involved both tutorial videos, which were meant to be quite short, and those were embedded within notebooks that had interactive problems. So the central pedagogy was a problem-solving pedagogy in which information would be presented textually through videos and then through Python problems that the students would have to solve together. Finally, at the end of the day, there would be an outro video recorded by a different expert in the field. So to show you what that looked like a little bit, this is one of the tutorial notebooks. You can see embedded videos, some restatement of content, and then coding problems, including interactive Python figures coded in Python. And I'll show you how to access all of these materials soon. So in order to communicate the concept of causality to neuroscientists, we wanted to zoom in on a typical problem that you would find within neuroscience that invokes causality. So there are a huge number of these, ranging from the effect of specific treatments or biological phenomena, to communication, to mechanism, and we focused on the idea of connectivity. So a connection is a causal thing, and so we have here a small network of 6 neurons, and the activity of any one in time is a function of what neurons connect to it. Now, we use this throughout the day, and all of the methods that we introduced to estimate causality, we tested on this live system. So the definition of causality that we instructed was the interventional definition. So that is to say, if we force A to be different and B changes every time we intervene in A and cause it to be different, then we say that A causes B. And there's a causal effect that relates to the amount that B will change on average when you force A to be different. The first thing we did was to ensure that this definition made sense. So given our system, which we simulated live as a dynamical system, we had the students perturb activity in neurons and measure the resultant change in the next time step to see how much things would change, and plot out that connectivity matrix and ensure that it looks something like the original connectivity matrix. All of the other methods were done in the same system. We looked at lag correlations, which might be a way that if you were estimating, say, functional connectivity, you would correlate two methods and estimate connectivity that way. We saw the failure modes of these as we varied such things as system size, the unobservability. So how many neurons outside of the system affect the neurons that we have? How does that affect the ability of various methods? Other things such as sparsity. All of these methods you could do yourself, these exercises, that is. It can easily be done in about 4 hours, 3 if you're pretty speedy. And you can go to just neuromatchacademy.com/syllabus and scroll down to our day. There are videos, the various tutorials, outros, and then some recorded Q&As that happened at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we surveyed all of the participants to see how much they enjoyed the material and what could change. Our response rate was pretty good. So we got about nearly 30% of the 1,400 students that took this or that participated on this particular day of Neuromatch Academy. There were some quantitative analyses, multiple choice, and some open response questions. And I'd like to just share a little bit of what we learned from the responses. So we broke the attendees up in terms of how much they said they knew about causality prior to NMA, from none through minimal to very good, and tracked how much they felt they improved afterwards. Most people felt they improved, and there wasn't a significant trend. You can see that no matter how much you knew about it, some people were able to find something something to take away. So I think whoever you are watching this today, I encourage you again. You may find it useful as well. We also looked at how much people enjoyed this topic. More people enjoyed it than they felt they improved, which I think is a good sign. We overall get very, very positive feedback from our particular day. I'll just read a few of these aloud so you can get a sense of the response. I've never thought about this topic in a systemic way, one participant said. It was a great idea to introduce this material. The tutorials led to interesting discussions among my pod and put my own research into perspective. Today's topic was beautiful, so easy to understand. Thank you to this person. Everything made sense. I love today. And I think the coverage of instrumental variables really pushed us to consider our own work. We found that short videos were really enjoyed by most participants. So the videos were about 1 to 5 minutes, and there were many of them, and they were very short and very, very concise, and only had a single point in each of them. This wasn't the case in all NMA days. So I very much like these videos. I very much like that it did not give away the entire answer, but helped you think about what may be the cause for specific aspects. And then you gain further intuition by trying to implement this in code without knowing the exact answer. So you can see there was this frequent back and forth between the videos, which sort of guided the thought process along, rather than the videos being a concise summary or lecture about these concepts. Short frequencies were a must. And the last part here, one that I'm calling out, says it helps to recap the material and introduce the upcoming exercises, but helps to keep focus as well. Where we received the most disappointment, I think, was for people wishing that specific methods were covered that we did not cover in detail. We did not cover regression discontinuity analysis, or RDD, which I think we might do in the future in following years. Granger causality and Bayesian networks as well didn't get an in-depth coverage. So know that these are missed out. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody who helped the day happen, including the other content creators, Tony Liu and Conrad Cording. Also the video recorders, Sofa Triantafilau and Rob Cass, as well as all of the reviewers who ensured that the notebooks were of a quality high enough and commensurate with the rest of NMA. And then everybody else who ensured that there were people to attend from all over the world and in all walks of neuroscience. Thank you. Any questions from my lab now? Getting back into lab mode.
Yeah, I can start us off if no one has another question. So as someone who's in a neuroscience graduate program now and who went through Neuromatch, my first introduction to causality, like causal inference, was probably sometime in college in an econometrics course, but then it was Neuromatch. And so far in my graduate program, we're not expected to take a quant